Friends, my name is Erin, and today I wanted to work a little bit on the core, on our trunk, on our torso, especially in a culture where it's all like suck in your stomach, be engaged. This can be supportive when we have a strong core for creating boundaries, but we also want the softness, the ability to breathe. We want to be flexible in both directions. So this particular flow is going to help to relax and release some of our core muscles, but also make them strong. And I want to just kind of demonstrate if you were to have a fist all the time, that doesn't mean that these muscles are strong. They're actually not useful when things are just tight all the time. They're kind of frozen. So the most useful muscles are the ones that can relax and then engage, and relax and then engage. And then we can actually do things with those muscles. So we're going to work some of the muscles in our spine, in our core, to help them relax and engage. So go ahead and begin. Some of you might want to lay on your back for this. And place one hand on your chest and belly, and some of you might want to sit. If you are seated and you can already feel that there's things engaged, that you're using a lot of muscles to support sitting upright, I invite you to lay down on your back, because the first thing that we want to do is play with relaxing the muscles that are used in breathing, relaxing and expanding those belly muscles. So to start, you can place one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Find your breath and just notice what is naturally happening. Notice what those patterns of breathing are. Notice what you feel under your hands. And without trying to fix or change anything, just notice what happens as you observe your breath. How does your breath naturally change and evolve on its own? As your breath naturally changes and evolves, notice if your body relaxes a little deeper, if there's any natural letting go through the jaw, through the shoulders, through those core muscles, anywhere else. Notice the effects of simply being the observer, shifting out of that strong doing mentality into the mentality of being. Notice any effects on state of mind, state of emotions. Sometimes as we come into ourselves, we can become more aware of some of the emotions that were present the whole time, but were blocked by all of our thoughts. Sometimes when we come into the breath, we can actually feel some anxiety that was there diminish. There's no right or wrong experience. There's a lot that is always happening in our belly, in our chest, in that state of beingness. Just making space for what is without the judgments or the expectations. Think about softening any of those muscles. Don't need to be engaged. Think about softening and relaxing the muscles that are between each rib, inviting them into greater expansion. Softening the core muscles. You give your belly permission to be filled up, to take up space. When we see images of the Buddha, he has a big, happy belly. Give yourself permission to have that big, happy belly. that fullness of life. And then invite yourself to really play with stretching some of those breathing muscles. So you can bring a little effort into the breath now. You might even start by squeezing the breath out, feeling those core muscles engage. And as you breathe in, maybe breathing in with a little bit of effort, filling the belly, filling the ribs. And exhaling, releasing the ribs, and drawing the belly back in. Breathing, letting the belly be filled, letting the ribs be filled. Breathing out, softening through the ribs, softening through the belly, and just noticing the flexibility of those belly muscles with the full expansion of breath, the stretching, and the exhaling, the drawing in, the engaging, contracting. So just fully breathe and be really nourishing to our core. We'll take just a couple more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. And if you even notice, I'm going to spin to my side to really breathe in, fill up. There's a long, lengthened spine. And to really breathe out and to squeeze everything out, there's a natural little rounding. So if we were to exaggerate that, really breathe in, you might lift your heart, you might add that back bend. And then to breathe out, drawing in, letting yourself round, feeling those core muscles really strong. This is sit-up position, right? So breathing in, stretching that front side, breathing out, emptying completely, rounding. And then we'll add hands a little more. Inhale, you can draw hands up. And for those of you who are on your backs, you might come to sitting at this point. And then you can play with that. Inhale, lifting the chest, squeezing hands back, elbows together, and exhaling. Feel the core as you round and draw in. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. And we'll take this same movement now, if it's okay for your body. We'll come on to hands and knees. And if hands and knees don't work for you, just stay right here and keep working it in seated. But when we're on hands and knees, we just have a little more room for the body to breathe in, to have that even deeper stretch, tailbone lifting, head lifting, and breathing out, tucking under, rounding up, being aware of those core muscles being stretched and of those core muscles being strengthened. Breathing in, stretch, breathing out, engage. Another inhale and exhale. And just because it's so important to feel our own bodies, our own instincts, our own needs, just give your spine a moment to explore anything that might be good, anything that might get some kinks out, any movements here. Another deep breath in and long breath out. And then I'll invite everyone to come down onto your belly here. So just laying down on your belly. And we're going to continue breathing and allowing those breathing muscles to relax. So breathing and relaxing. And see if you can feel that lift of your low back. As you inhale, softening of belly and everything in your body as you exhale. Breathe in, filling that low back. And breathe out. This is where you can really invite those belly muscles that do, there's some vital organs, not as vital as the heart and the lungs, but still some really important organs in our core. And there's not the same protection of the rib cage around the core. So when the belly gets that hard surface of the floor underneath it, it can really feel that sense of protection, that permission to relax, permission to be soft. As you breathe in, you can feel the belly press into the earth as the low back rises. As you breathe out, just feel everything melting down and in. Another couple breaths. And I'll just offer this for anyone who wants to take this a little deeper. You can place a yoga block, a blanket, or something underneath the belly, slid right between those pelvic bones and the rib bones. So in the soft part, if you are touching the ribs, it won't go as deep, but you can use pillows, rolled towels, yoga block here. But this allows the breath to actually be engaging with that press so that you can massage and release some of those deepest psoas muscle. Psoas is the deepest core muscle that runs from your spine right through your pelvis to connect with your legs, very much connected to the fight or flight response. And this can also deepen a release of these low back muscles. So if you want to explore kind of some sort of support or pressure underneath your belly greater than the floor, this can also be deeper massage for any of the digestive issues that you might have. But one thing to note, after we do this deep release with pressure under the belly, oftentimes it will be harder to re-engage those core muscles for a bit. Your belly will just be like a big relaxed state. So don't be alarmed. It will come back. Anyways, take another deep breath in and long breath out here. If you ever want to come back and just work this, it can be a nice restorative pose. But right now we're going to press back and up. You can slide your hips back and just allow the belly to hang. So you can be in some variation of puppy pose or child's pose with hips melting towards the heels. Forehead can rest on the earth or on the backs of your hands. And really let your knees be wide here. So we just allowed the belly to have contact with the floor. Now we're giving the belly permission to just hang. Again, before we come into strengthening, we want to really relax. Letting the belly expand, letting the belly soften. Letting the belly be loved. The belly is not something that's always loved in our culture. It's like, bad belly, suck it in, do this. So just giving permission to the belly to be. One more inhale. And exhale. And then gently shift back onto your belly. And this is one of my favorite exercises for core work. So what we'll be doing actually is the same thing that we did on hands and knees or when you were seated. You'll be lifting the tailbone, opening through the belly, and then you'll be tucking the tailbone under, drawing in and up. Only it will be a little more intense for those core muscles because we're lower. So to get that range of motion is a little more challenging. So you can start elbows underneath the shoulders, pulling the elbows back a little bit to let that heart reach forward. Deep breath in here. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Find that rounding. Just lift as much as is comfortable. Inhale, soften the belly and open the heart again. Exhale, coiling in and up, rounding through the spine as much as you can. You're just coming to those upper thighs probably. And inhale, opening the heart. You'll notice the rounding that I can do from here is not as extreme unless I come all the way up, but that's not what we're doing. We're really kind of staying with those core muscles, breathing in to stretch that heart open, breathing out to find that core engagement. And we'll take just one more. Exhale here and inhale. You can go ahead and take a break and just notice. Do you want to soften down? Do you enjoy that open heart? Taking a pause. We're going to come into a plank hold. And one of the things that I want to offer is that if that's really challenging for you, stay with this roll that we were just doing. But if you want to try, you can come into plank pose, tuck that tailbone as we just did, come on up towards your knees. You might stay right here, or you might tuck those toes under and lift through your heels too. There's no right or wrong, but you want to be feeling this in the core primarily. So keeping tailbone tucked, core engaged. This particular plank is not about building arm or shoulder strength, but really trying to activate that core. So whether you're rolling up and down or holding steady, let's try for 3 more breaths. Deep inhale and exhale. Deep breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. And exhale, gently softening down. Give that belly a rest. Staying with those full deep breaths. Nice job. Gently press your hands into the earth. Now, on your own, you can definitely spend a few more rounds there, or if you want to pause and really work that core, you can come into that. But we're going to shift gears here. Coming back to that upright, feeling that core engagement, there's a little thing that I want to play with here. So again, I'm going to show you side view. If we are sitting nice and tall, and we go ahead and reach the arms up, oftentimes we release those core muscles, we let the ribs flail, and we take it into a back bend to get arms up overhead. That's fine when we're doing the back bend, when that is our goal. But right now we're going to play with just core awareness. So finding your roots reaching down, your heart lifting up, and inhale, reach arms high, but keep those ribs the same distance from your pelvis. So instead of letting them lift, keep them engaged, and you'll actually feel as you breathe in, the core muscles have to engage more to get those arms up there. So breathe in and out. Breathing in, arms reach high. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel back muscles and core muscles supporting this simple movement, moving from your core. And one more time, breathe in, this time reaching arms high, get that nice long spine. And as you breathe out, take right hand to left knee, just working that spinal rotation. Inhale as you gather length. Exhale as you explore twist. Breathe in, let the belly fill, let the ribs expand. Breathe out, really squeezing in and becoming aware of that central channel, everything kind of ringing and twisting around it. Breathe in, gather that length. Breathe out, that ringing. Take one more breath in and out. Being aware of those core muscles. Inhale, reach both arms high. And exhale, if you want, take a other side cross if your legs are crossed. And then you can take that twist to the second side. Inhaling as you lift the heart high. Exhaling as you explore that rotation. Breathe in. Breathe out, holding that internal awareness, drawing your attention into your core, into your center, into that flow of breath. Again, letting this breath expand and stretch all the breathing muscles and also bring that contraction, that drawing into the center. Muscles as flexible as possible. Last breath in and out. Gently spin yourself forward. Give your spine any movements that might feel good here. And take another deep breath in. Long breath out. If you want to come back to laying on the floor, if you want to place a hand on the belly, hand on the chest as you're seated. Softening the belly, letting the breath flow. Noticing any shifts and changes. Holding your attention in your core. Using those core muscles to lift your posture. A lot of times when we want to improve the posture, we just roll the shoulders back and down, still let that core be collapsed, but use those core muscles to lift the sternum. The shoulder blades will naturally fall down your back, letting that core be both strong and soft, flexible for highest function. And as you hold your attention in your core, what is your intention for the day? You were to move from your center. You were to move in a way that was really for your highest service, your highest well-being, trusting that what's best for you would be best for all. Just notice what you might need today, what choices you might make, what qualities you can bring forward to support that as you take a final breath in and final breath out. Thank you for practicing. Have a great day.